We've just come back from a wheel, which is in the northwest of Sudan, to visit the projects that Christian Aid are funding through some money from Irish Aid. A real highlight for me was when all the men were seated on chairs and you sat down on the ground and talked to the women there about the challenges that they were facing, and they whooped with delight as when you sat with them, which was just amazing. But tell me a little bit about the stories that they told.
Well, I heard from quite a few women and young mothers, and they were saying that they just hadn't eaten at all that day. And when they eat about once a day and they eat the same thing, they can only eat sorghum. And they're explaining that their crops, the recent rains meant that their crops failed. And they don't know how they're going to survive because, that was their harvest, that was their only hope. So it was really lovely to be with them and to hear their stories, but it made me really angry to realise that, the effects of climate change that everyone else contributes to is really affecting people like Risa, who I met, and she's really worried about her 18-month-old baby boy because he's very malnourished, and her older children are more resigned to hunger and they've developed better, but if this younger boy doesn't get the food he needs, it'll really impact his growth. There was one lady, a blind lady, and she is a widow, and she told me she had 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls, and 2 of her girls have died. Her eldest girl is 10, and she's now head of the household, and she's sick now as well. And because they've had no food, she can't really get better, and her immune system is low, and I don't know how you cope in that situation whenever you've got a 10-year-old who is meant to be running your household, and she's ill and she can't get food, and her only way of getting food is to go and gather firewood and sell it in the market, but she's too ill to do that at the moment, and they're in desperate need of some assistance. But the great thing was the fact that the community, even though they have nothing themselves, really try to do their best for that woman and for her children.
What fears do you have for the people that you've left behind?
I feel really sad at leaving them behind. I feel like I can't make promises to them. I can only do my best when I go back to inspire people to give and to help people understand there is a real severe food crisis here. And it's going to be very difficult going back, because going back to Christmas, and there's going to be so much stuff in the shops. There's going to be, food everywhere. And when I asked these women what Christmas was going to be like for them, they said, well, we'll go to church and that's it. We won't have any other food for Christmas. And they're looking forward to the new year in the hope that the new year will bring them, there'll be some improvements and some changes. But because of the harvest, they know that improvement has to come from other people. Other people have to donate and to support them. And one lady said, I might not be here next spring. I won't survive until next spring. So I feel angry because there's enough food for everyone in this world, and I feel sad that there's so much food wasted. And meanwhile, these women and children are really struggling just to survive. And eating one meal a day of just one ingredient that's just survival at its basic level.